Welcome to the World History 1 lecture series. At the end of each slide there will be a 10-second delay. Use this time to pause the presentation and complete your notes. When you are done, push play and you will move forward. This lecture will begin in 5 seconds.
Welcome to World History 1 Lecture 8.2 on Islamic Expansion and Major Contributions, and we just finished talking about these three major Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. And we learned that while these religions are similar, there are major differences. So this is the split that we know. What's this? Sunni versus Shia? Something to do with Islam? This is the split that we don't know. What else don't we know about Islam? Well, today we're going to explore what else we might not know about Islam. And with that said, let's go to the next slide. Islam is founded by Muhammad. The Islamic Empire is a religious civilization based on Islam, and it spreads quickly. Islam starts in Mecca and Medina from 610 to 630 CE. So here's the location of Mecca, here's the location of Medina, and Muhammad moved between these two cities as he founded Islam. But once the citizens of Mecca convert to Islam, things move rapidly. Islam conquers the Arabian Peninsula by 633 CE, and then Islam spreads into the Byzantine Empire by 640 CE. So 10 years after Muhammad returns to Mecca, Islam and the Islamic Empire are already moving into another civilization. Go to the next slide. How does this religion spread so quickly? Well, it all has to do with the day jobs held by Muslims. Muslims are traders. They trade goods between places, and in doing so, they spread Islam along trade routes. Islam is diffused or spread along trade routes across 3 continents: Asia, Northern Africa, and Europe. Because of this, by 1453 CE, the Islamic Empire includes the Fertile Crescent, Iran, which is the old Persian Empire, Central Asia, Northern Africa, the Arabian and Iberian Peninsulas, and the Ottoman Empire. These traders spread Islam across these 3 continents, and by 1453, the Islamic Empire holds a vast amount of territory. Go to the next slide. Not only does Islam spread quickly, but it crosses some of the most hostile environments on earth. The Islamic Empire expanded despite distances, desert environments like the Sahara, and mountain barriers. In fact, Sahara means great desert in Arabic. But Islam got some help as well. The spread of Islam is facilitated or helped by the weakness of the Byzantine and Persian empires. These empires are becoming weak, and Islam is spreading into them because of it. So eventually, bye-bye, Constantinople. Go to the next slide. Islam and the Islamic Empire spread quickly, but it's not because people like each other. Instead, political unity of the first Muslim empire from 632 to 661 CE was short-lived. There is no unity between the Muslims. Something else must be working to spread Islam. That something is Arabic. The Arabic language is the language of the Quran, and it helped facilitated trade across Islamic lands. The Quran is written in Arabic. Muslim traders speak Arabic. So, wherever they go, no matter what language is being spoken, you need to be able to speak Arabic to speak with a Muslim trader. There's also something to do with slavery. Slavery was not based on race. Muslims enslaved people from many cultures as well as Africa, but Muslims treat slaves different. There is a code on treating slaves. They are considered people and property. In fact, freeing slaves was considered a virtuous act. Go to the next slide. Because there was no unity between Muslims, the Islamic Empire is the shortest empire on earth. What do I mean? Well, Muhammad dies in 632 CE after founding Islam and converting the people of Mecca. Then what happens? Who's going to lead Islam? Well, Muhammad is succeeded by four caliphs, or religious leaders, from 632 to 661 CE. This is only going to be a period of 29 years until we have the death of Ali. Not that Ali, but now you know where he got his name. Instead, after the death of the fourth caliph, Ali, two rival religious groups, the Sunni and the Shia or Shiite, divide over who should be the true leader of the Islamic Empire. We're going to have a power struggle over who leads Islam. This power struggle continues today. Go to the next slide. The Islamic power struggle is a true glimpse into history because the Sunni Shia division, we still see this today. Let's talk about the Sunni. They believe that the caliph or the leader should be elected by the religious leaders of the Islamic community and not dependent on direct lineage from Muhammad. In other words, the religious leaders in Islam elect the person who they believe will best lead the religion. Shiites think differently. They consider certain direct descendants of Ali, these would be the imams or the leaders of Islam, and the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, infallible. These folks cannot make mistakes, and they are the true inheritors of Muhammad. In other words, if you can prove your link all the way back to Ali, the fourth caliph, then you inherit the leadership of Islam. Here's the interesting part. Sunni are the majority in most Muslim countries in the world today. About 80 to 90% of the world's Muslims are Sunni. Shiites are the majority in Iran, Iraq, Bahrain, Yemen, and Palestine. These are countries in the Middle East, and they make up 10 to 20% of the world's Muslims. This is a power struggle between the Sunni majority and the Shiite minority. Go to the next slide. Islam spreads like wildfire, and because Western civilization has failed after the fall of the Roman Empire, the Islamic Empire takes over a lot of territory. But with the thrill of victory comes the agony of defeat. The conquests of the Islamic empires are many and include Jerusalem from 638 to 1099 CE. This will lead to something called the Crusades. We'll learn more about this when we study the Middle Ages. The Islamic empires also take Damascus in 635 CE. We can actually see this by going to the Umayyad Mosque in Damascus. This is the fourth holiest site in Islam, and it is a massive mosque. But with the good comes the bad. The Muslims almost overtake Western Europe, but they lose at the Battle of Tours in France to Charles Martel of the Franks in 732 CE. The Muslims are spreading up through Spain. They're moving into Gaul, which would become modern-day France, and Charles Martel beats them at the Battle of Tours. This stops the spread of Muslims from the Iberian Peninsula. Is this a glimpse of things to come? We'll see. Thank you for watching this lecture, and I look forward to seeing you in class.